Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be a bit unusual and also a bit unscheduled. The thing is, last Sunday I was doing a live stream at the Ekklesia Club, which, for those who don't know, is my private Telegram channel with a closed community plus access to a huge archive of exclusive information, including the live broadcasts I do on the second Sunday of each month. All of these broadcasts are recorded, and right now, the archive has more than 130 hours of truly amazing information. During last Sunday's livestream, we touched on an extremely important and very deep topic that really affects absolutely everyone. The topic of escaping the illusion of duality. As I was leading the stream, I realized that everything I was saying was so crucial and so necessary that it would almost feel wrong to keep that information in a private setting. Probably about an hour into that lecture, I thought I might post this on YouTube, but once we dove even deeper into analyzing the questions and cases participants shared, my decision became even stronger, especially because it turned out to be such a burning topic for so many. In fact, we decided that on the next livestream, which will take place this Sunday, we'll focus entirely on the participants' cases, essentially a questions and answers with personal mini consultations centered on the concept of duality. I believe that for many people who either join live or watch the replay, it will create a significant shift in consciousness. So when you hear this lecture I'm about to share, you'll probably see why I felt it would be doubly wrong not to mention the upcoming event and not to invite others, giving them a chance to participate. Of course, it's always your choice. I think there's no need for more introductions, so let's get started. The only thing I should warn you about is that the audio quality is going to change because the YouTube videos I normally record are done with a studio microphone and specialized editing software, whereas this live stream was on Telegram using a basic Bluetooth headset, so you'll hear the difference. Anyway, enjoy listening. Topic: Getting out of the illusion of duality. Hello again, everyone. Today our stream topic is about escaping the illusion, essentially how the dark reality plunges us into duality via this prism of duality, and how we can break free of that. There isn't a quick answer like clap 3 times and stomp your feet 5 times to fix everything. We have to realize that this illusion, this prism, through which we view everything, which acts like a distorted mirror, comes from incorrect assumptions, incorrect thoughts and perceptions. As long as we see black as white and white as black, we remain trapped in the illusion of duality. In fact, as long as we assume the world is strictly black and white, we're stuck in that prism of duality. I've often said that duality, as we tend to think of it, doesn't need to really exist, though people will argue that there's light energy and dark energy, that some things are light and some are dark. But keep in mind there are at least 50 shades of gray in between. There isn't just whitey or black. We're dealing with an enormous range of frequencies, color frequencies, sound frequencies, a vast spectrum. Yet what they do is reduce it to black and white only. Imagine a black and white photo vis a color photo. A color photo captures the real range of hues, blues, yellows, reds, while the black and white photo eliminates them all. They want us to see everything in black and white. That's exactly how we end up labeling everything as good or bad. We start telling ourselves, this is good, that is bad, and so forth. This might sound trivial, but it's actually the core process that dark forces exploit. We make a choice, say this is for me, or this isn't for me. I like this, or I don't like this. That part, deciding, this isn't for me, can be healthy, but the critical difference is whether I simply say, I personally don't like this, versus labeling the object or situation itself as bad in an absolute sense. So, for instance, I might say, this thing isn't acceptable for me personally, I don't want it in my life. But I don't declare the thing itself to be fundamentally bad. In reality, it's neutral. If it exists at all, it presumably serves some purpose, and maybe it's perfectly fine for someone else. In contrast, the prism of duality teaches us that the thing is universally, objectively bad. period. That approach extends to how we label people. Instead of saying, your action was bad, e.g., you broke a vase, you messed up, that action isn't great, we're taught to call the person and themselves bad. Then we grow up automatically doing the same thing to everyone around us. We hang labels on people or objects, walking around thinking, this is bad, that's good, without caring about the deeper reasons behind events. For example, if someone does something hurtful, we rarely ask if they might be in a horrible situation at home. We just label them awful. We ignore that maybe they're calling out for help. We don't see beyond our black and white lens. And what happens when you're both labeled bad yourself, especially as a child? If you begin to believe it, you end up living a life that isn't even yours, trying to fit someone else's definition of bad, because apparently the whole world sees you that way. Imagine how many people walk around living out these false roles, millions. They accepted a label someone gave them and just ran with it. Duality keeps us from seeing the bigger picture. So how do we escape that prism of duality? The simplest step is to stop thinking in rigid categories. Stop constantly saying, that's good, that's bad. Yes, we can evaluate someone by their actions, but we must see their whole range of actions, not just pick one single mistake and ignore everything else. Far too often, someone can do countless good things, but once they slip up, people say, aha, see who they really are, crossing out all the good. This is exactly what the tabloid media thrive on. One slip up is used to claim, that's the real them. Meanwhile, everything else is dismissed, and it's not just about black and white. There's the further twist where black is called white, and white is called black. In other words, on top of forcing us to see only two colors, manipulators often invert them. I've talked about this on Boosty, where I showed how cunningly they flip everything upside down. Our world is currently ruled by manipulative forces, the dark ones. If you've studied narcissists or psychopaths, you know how expertly they gaslight people, making you doubt your own reality. In a dualistic mindset, when two people argue, someone must good, and the other must be bad. There's no room for nuance, no genuine attempt to understand each other. That's how entire nations end up hating each other in conflicts. Each side believes it is the good side, while the other is bad. There's no middle ground. One classic example is the narcissist who sees themselves as perfect and everyone else as the problem. Why did they become that way? Often they had a childhood where they were told, I'm ashamed of you, you're worthless, I wish you were more like so, and it broke them. Then they build a grandiose facade to hide that inner wound. Meanwhile, someone else might have had a different label stuck on them. You're a criminal, and they eventually fulfill that label, ending up in prison, with the parent later saying, I always knew you'd turn out that way. In reality, the parent basically willed it to happen by constantly labeling them. So, yes, duality can shatter someone's entire life path. It's terrifying how destructive these labels are. People who live by this black and white system can't see the richness in themselves or in others. They can't see that a human being is multifaceted, sometimes doing good, sometimes messing up, sometimes being somewhere in between. They only see a single absolute label. You might do 1,000 good deeds, but one mistake gets you labeled bad forever. And if that's how we judge others, it's usually how we judge ourselves as well. If you do something you regret, you might focus on it so intently that you erase all the good you've ever done. Then you end up living in guilt, seeing yourself through that single negative lens. On a broader level, that's exactly what the system wants. People who don't analyze, who never see the full spectrum of any situation. When we encounter something new, we're supposed to examine it from all sides, figure out how it works, determine pros and cons, form our own perspective. But from childhood, we're conditioned. Don't think, don't ask why, don't look deeper, just accept what I told you. This is bad, that is good, end of story. That kills genuine analysis. It kills the idea that a situation might be good in one context, bad in another, or neutral overall. Instead, we're told to follow the crowd like sheep. Then, ironically, some people wake up, realize they've been deceived, but turn around and label everyone else sheep, calling them idiots for not seeing what they see. They're still using the same black and white approach, not acknowledging that maybe those sleeping people are weighed down by a lifetime of harmful programming that taught them they can't think for themselves. The newly awake person fails to see the deeper reasons behind others' behavior. Again, that duality stands in the way of real empathy and connection. This dualistic worldview is a key factor in moral degeneration passed down generation after generation. Humanity can end up in a cycle of labeling and crippling each other until nobody sees the bigger picture. But higher level souls are now being born, meant to interrupt that cycle. It's not just about their ability to do astral travel or have special psychic gifts. It's also that these souls have a deep internal strength and expanded perspective that eventually breaks through all this nonsense. So yes, people often try to break free of the negative labels. They do that by saying, no, I'm not the worthless creature someone claimed I am. I reclaim who I really am. This reclaims the original self. That's why I'm always telling you, now focus on yourself first. Who are you really? Figure out which labels you've accepted over the years that have nothing to do with the real you. If somebody pinned those labels on you and you said, yes, I must be that person, it's time to hand them back. The more you realize, I'm not that at all, the more you break free of illusions and reestablish your connection with your soul. That's also why, on a practical level, in my courses or live streams, you'll see we talk about removing these harmful programs and illusions. It's not just about saying, go away, larva. It's also about reclaiming your authentic identity and letting go of the old distortion. Anyway, at that point in the live stream, we transitioned into questions from participants discussing very personal situations from their own lives. Since that part involves private details, I felt it wouldn't be right to post it publicly. However, all of my live streams, including this one, are recorded and remain available inside the Sunny Club. I also want to remind you that we decided to continue this discussion on the upcoming Sunday live stream, delving even deeper into participants' questions and cases, like mini personal consultations regarding duality. If today's lecture sparks any questions for you, I invite you to join us. I'll do my best to explore the topic thoroughly. That's all for now. I hope this excerpt from the live stream has been as helpful as possible. I truly believe it's something everyone should hear so they can recognize what might be holding them back, what illusions are keeping them stuck in the matrix or preventing their consciousness from expanding and reclaiming a fuller, richer perception of reality. Every human being can open up that spectrum, so long as we refuse to stay trapped in illusions. Once we let go of those illusions, we reconnect with our true selves. I love you all, sending hugs. Love yourselves. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Become a member of my Telegram channel and discuss with like-minded people as a supporting club member.